I feel something in the air. I believe it's banjo time. And we're going to do a little Say Darlin Say. I'm in D tuning, like a double D. And we're going to, from Tommy Jarrell's amazing fiddling and singing, it's based on that a little bit. So let's give it a go.
All right.
I'm going to go kind of easy going and see what happens here. Right.
Yes, and you can hear Carl sing the whole thing on the fiddle lesson, so don't miss that.
Yeah, and we may do a little of that, work out some chords here in a minute. The banjo's always fun to work on chord voicings. All right, thank you,
And
Erynn.
it sounds beautiful, just instrumental, too.
I think it's a beautiful melody. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Say Darlin Say. So let's just kind of focus on the chords for a second here. If we're doing this, the basic thing, the pattern's nice and it's just D to G, and G back to D, and a quick A. So D to G, G back to D, A and D. So let's just look at the chords for a second. So here's my D chord, and my double D tuning got to open bottom strings and the first string, second fret, and so your main bass. Just maybe hit. We'll just get our main bass a little bit, and it goes to a. Let's copy that same pattern. Go to bar 5 with my first finger, and the little finger has to get that 7th fret. And back to D. And my A chord, you could go all the way up to 7. So why don't we just do that? Use the same shape for all 3 chords one time. That's always a good thing in the banjo to try. So we have the open, 2. And we copy that on the 5th fret for G, 5, 5, 5, 7. Goes back to D. And then we go up to the 5 chord, the A chord. And then I'm hitting the 2nd string when I go back, just for something different. Sound like this. Walking up. Maybe we can add a little flourish there. So let's just try that nice and slow. So I'm going 4, brush, 3, brush. Then I'm walking up on the bass, 2, 4, using my first finger just to scoot all the way up to 4 and 5 bar and get my little finger. I like my little finger. A lot of people use the 3rd finger. And I'm using, again, the 4th string. And stay there, 4 and 3, back down the way you came, bass walk down, just to one time there, and you go up to 7. So I'm doing the 4th and 3rd string again. That's your main bass and your main part, and then the 2nd string. And we might have a little flourish. So I'll try that. And we'll try the words with that, see if it works. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Daddy's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Say, darling, say. If that mockingbird don't sing, Daddy's gonna buy you a diamond ring. Say, darling, say. Just the bass walk. Just try the chords. Get the feel for the chords. You'll get better at figuring out your walks and everything, but that one shape works great for the backup. And when you're learning a tune, I think it's great to go ahead and kind of scope out the chords, you know, figure them out a little bit there. Because when you're playing in a group or something, or a jam, it's a lot more fun if you can go. You can kind of see every jam's got a little different personality, and there may be some jams that says everybody's playing the melody. If they don't have a lot of guitar and stuff, you know, so you might be, you know, called on to do more chord work. You know, and if you could do strong, you know, nice chord backup, that'd be a real big addition to the jam. So that's cool. So anyway, let's work on the melody a little bit. And I'm kind of doing a lot of sort of what Tommy Jarrell did, you know, his notes. So you could do a lot less notes. But right now, let's just kind of look at, there's a little hammer. So it comes in on the, kind of on the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a hammer. So and it goes. And it's really back to that. So you're holding that, you know, the note of the chord there, that pretty note. That's the first little move. And you're going to keep that down and do a little drop thumb from the first and second string. I'm going to do that first measure over and over. Nice slow. 1, 2, 3, go. 2 drop thumbs. Here I go. Just loop that. And you can use your middle finger or your first finger on the first string. A lot of times I'll use my middle finger on the first string and my index finger for the inside strings. Got a little bit of a cut on my finger, so I'm going to be using my first finger a little more right now. So, and then the next thing, you're going to have a nice little, you pick up, you do the same drop thumb, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2 string wise, but you have open and put that back down. And it's going to go down to the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 1st string, 3rd fret. I'm using my 1st and 3rd finger. So, and a brush thumb. So let me just do that much. That's half, you know, half of the first line. 1, 2, here I go. Beautiful. Okay, let's do that one more time, a little slower. 1, 2, 3, go. Open 2 and the G chord, brush thumb. Beautiful. Then it's going to go, it works the 3rd string a lot here. You have a pull off from 2 to open, and you have a hammer from open to 4, and pull off 2 again, open, and a hammer 2, 4. Could be a slide there. So here's what it sounds like. Those, a lot of times your hammers could be slides. So. I'll try it with a slide. I like the slide too, you know, so instead of the hammer at the end. And here's the, you have a drop thumb. Let's see. So drop thumb to 4, and then you have the 2 pull off, open, 4. And then your ending phrase is going to be an A chord coming in that 2nd fret, 2nd string, but you have the 3rd string. Let me just play that whole part, and it gets a little variation, but that's almost the whole first part. Let me just do it. The fiddle goes up higher, and we'll do that too. So it's going to be like a G chord arrives, and 3rd string, pull off, hammer, slide. Little A chord, wait. Okay, I'll do that a little slower. And the end, I've got 2, 4. I'm doing either a hammer or slide. I didn't have it on. I'll go back and check my tab, make sure I got that right. So 1, 2, here I go. Back and forth, open 2 and G, brush. Drop the pull off 4, A chord. And that little, a nice little delay there on that A chord. You have the 3rd string and a brush, 1, brush, and then you wait for a little 5th string on the upbeat. So it's like 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. You get that little and with the thumb, and you have the 2, 4 going up to the top of the scale. So I'll do that one more time. We'll look at the variation. It's beautiful. 1, 2, here I go. Pull off, hammer, slide. I might slide on that. I might like to do a little slide on that low 4 because it's hard not to. 1, 2, wait. Then this time time we're going to have a little open pull off maybe. This time you go 2, that back and forth again, 1, 2 strings with the drop thumb. 2, open, 2, and a crossover. So you get over that. So you go index, thumb, open. This time you go string wise 1, 2, 2, 5. And it's index, thumb, drop thumb, index. Just try that a little bit, what I call a crossover lick. You're getting the same string with 2 different fingers. So string wise 1, 2, 2, 5. And we got index or middle finger, thumb, index, thumb. You can just practice that. And a good way to practice that crossover lick would be just doing the first string. You could just move around, make it in kind of like a little a rambling atmospheric exercise. If I get off the tune for a second, say, so crossover lick. Really that crossover, right? Crossover. So that's a really good thing to work on. You might get, if you just get that crossover lick, and of course you could do it on different strings. Right now the 1, 2, and the 5th works really good for putting melody, especially in a D tuning. So that comes in as I'm coming on the repeat of that first part. It comes in that right here, crossover. Then it has open on both strings, and the G chord arrives, and back to the same kind of thing. I put a slide that time, and the A, a little different. So let me do the whole first part. Beautiful, and listen for that crossover and a lot of drop thumb. So sometimes it's good to not drop things, but in the case of banjo, the thumb is a good thing to drop often. And there's people that play without drop thumb at all. It sounds great too. So it's just it's good to have all your different tools in the toolbox. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. G chord, 3rd string. You can slide that. A, wait to the D. Here's a different crossover, G chord, 3rd string. Beautiful. So the second part gets up on the first string a lot. It's open, 2, hammer, and he gets on the fiddle. I'm doing a hammer to open 2, and then 5th string, and the 5th fret 1st string. Might just try that a few times. Hammer, 5th string, 5th fret. String wise, 1st, 5, 1st. And you're going to have a nice, I go to my 2nd finger, do a hammer from 5 to 7, my little finger. Go back to a drop thumb. Then you're going to be back to the stuff we've already done. So it's like. And then you're back to that stuff we've already done. Kind of let's look at the chords again. Let's try doing the Hush Little Baby, and then play the melody. And often that the fiddler will be doing that high stuff after the song. So we'll try that. We'll play the chords and do the singing, and then go into the high part and see how that sounds. Maybe a little more like the song. So hush, little baby, don't say a word. Daddy's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Say, darling, say. If that mockingbird don't sing, Daddy's gonna buy you a diamond ring. Say, darling, say. Say, darling, say. Say, darling, say. Say, darling, say, up to that 10th fret. So that's really fun, and the more you can do less and less, the better it's going to possibly sound. Especially when you're singing, you really want to break it down to just. If you're staying in the one last thing, if you're staying down here, you got the D chord there. Your G chord could be here. You don't have a G unless you go down here, but a lot of people do it right here. And it's the first string. It's the 3rd fret 1st string and the 2nd fret 3rd. And then your A chords are 2 on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, and low 2. So you get. So you don't really have not that walking up the same shape works better. But let me try just that for a second. Up on the high string, back to a D chord, A chords. I'd probably try to get a little better. Experiment. Probably getting that A just like the melody. So experiment. Sometimes one form goes a long way. That's worked great. I think you can't go wrong playing Say Darlin Say. So I hope you enjoy doing that. And it's really beautiful just playing the melody without singing it. But it's a great song too. So good to do both, or just do it as a song, or as a tune, or put them together. All good. So take good care and enjoy Say Darlin Say.